Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Shalom, Israel. We're the Isupk, start off 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Command of General Yohana. Start off 1969, where we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians make up the 12 tribes of Israel. We are not affiliated with any Israelite group, any other group for that matter. Officer Qadash here in the teaching the Lashawan Qadash class in Greenville, South Carolina, and where we teach the original language, the original Lashawan Qadash. We teach, of course, in our, if you can read our chart over here, the ancient Hebrew and the Syrian Hebrew, and we teach both, and we go over the charts, and we read sentences. We do a sentence structure. That's what we're going to go over tonight, a little sentence structure. As we wait for people to check in the class, one of the officers will put a chat for your name, that way you could get your Hebrew name just by checking in class and staying in class and participating and doing the instructions that you're supposed to in Isupk. If you're black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, that's one of the benefits that you have for you. So check in the class and make sure. As we see, we are still waiting for more people to check in, and of course we're waiting for that in the chat, the instructions to get your name. So that means you keep checking in class for a few months here, I think it's 6, and get instruction to get in class and know your heritage, know your Lashawan Qadash. Lashawan Qadash, man, means the holy tongue. Lashawan is language. That's what it is. Lashawan Qadash, holy tongue. I mean, that's the tongue. That's the tongue that the Bible's written off of. Of course, when we're in captivity in Greek, of course, it has some Greek in there also in the New Testament. But the Old Testament, man, where we got all our laws, statutes, commandments, that Bible was written for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. It's not written for anybody else. And therefore, when we teach, we show you the characters that we use. Here in the American language, they have 26. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all that stuff, and then vowels, 6 vowels, and sometimes Y, some goofy stuff. But that's the language that we speak, a language that we will not understand, and that's what we're in. But Lashawan Qadash is the original language. That's the language that Adam spoke, man. That's when we say Abba, Gada, Hawazaka, Tayakala, Manasa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwara, Shakta. And of course, these characters up here on this top row, that's your original language. But we have connectors, and we'll get into a little bit of that tonight. Connectors, and then of course, it's the original language. Of course, when we were in captivity in Assyria, we kept the same. When we were in captivity, I mean, we had to do what they say. So they kept the same sounds, but the characters changed drastically, man. When you say still Abba Gada, when you look at Abba Gada, Hawazaka Tayakala Manasa. But the Yiddish people, they got our language, man, destroyed it. Said things that you can't even. It ain't even. It's almost like speaking a foreign language, and that's not Hebrew. But when you get into class, and you'll see that we do the Assyrian. I got some Assyrian up here, and I got some sentences up here, of course, in the ancient Hebrew and the Assyrian Hebrew. And like I said, we wait for people to check in the class. We'll give a few more seconds here. Salaki for a second. Let's see. Lock you up. Lock you there as we got more people checking in the class. Yeah, check in the class. Make sure you get your Hebrew name. That's important. It's important to get rid of that slave name that you joined to, man. All those slave names that people got. But as we wait for a few more people to check in the class, I'll lock you for a second. Okay, let's see. See if people still checking in the class here. Friday afternoon. I know people. Let's lock for a second. Okay. All right. I know people still checking in the class because they have. People still have their slaves, man, and they checking in the class, but we'll start here in a second. Here, I just want people. I don't want to leave a whole lot of people. I know there are other people other than people South Carolina checking in class. Before, sometimes I know we've had difficulty checking in on a Facebook channel. But I think we've got both of them up. I believe we do here. Let's see. Yeah, we had some difficulty with the Facebook, but I think we have the class in YouTube and Facebook broadcasting as people check. And I believe we can hear, but when you get in the class, type of one in the chat to make sure that we can get, so you can hear everything that we have. But we'll go ahead and start here in about 30 more seconds here. Just wait to put the broadcast to class. Let's lock you for a second. Oh, there it is. Officer Shar sharing a video right now. I believe. Right. Yeah, he has it. And I believe that's the Facebook channel that we've been needing there, which is good. Let's Sentence understanding, yeah. Got you. Sentences. And Hebrew. Good. So good. Glad we got that up. But checking the class. Let's see. Where's that at? Okay, there we go. All right. Let's see who we have. Have the Quan. Quan, you're in class, man. Type of 1 in the chat. Make sure you can hear me okay. I believe we can, but let's just make sure. Let's make sure we can hear all right. I believe type of 1 in the class, Quan, if you can hear me. I believe Shar has broadcast the class here. Right. You know, you get in class, Quan types in there. Good, Quan. Good. Well, since you up there, man, you know, you tell me, answer a question for me in Hebrew since you're there, or you get your yan, or your yan and kick it in the corner, man. How many vowels do we have in Hebrew, Quan? How many vowels are there in the Hebrew? The ancient and the Assyrian Hebrew. Type that in the chat for me, Quan, if you can. See what Quan got. Yeah, look at that, brother. Quan said there's 22, man. 22. Just clap it up for that brother right there. That's exactly right, man. Clap it up for him. Clap it up for him. All right. Quan said there's 22 of them. Then he say Assyrian. Okay, then he says there's 27 Assyrian, including the character. Right, and exactly. Okay, and he's right, because there's 27, and I try to go over this every week or when I can, but he says there are 27 in the Assyrian, so that means what he's saying is the ancient, if I'm straight, Quan, I think you're saying the ancient has 22, and the Assyrian has 27. Exactly right. And he's right. And then he said, look at this brother right here. The brother right here said that because they're ending characters, man. Look at that. They're ending characters. This brother knows his stuff right there. See? Ending characters, right. Exactly. So he's saying, let's clap it up for that brother, man. I mean, you know, he understands this stuff right here. That's what I want. That's what I want from everybody that's in the chat that's teaching. Quan understands the Hebrew, man. You know, but he said there's 22 in the ancient because there are 5 extra characters. There's 5 extra characters, and that is the ka, the ma, the wa, ka, ma, na, pa, and tazah. And that would be in the 5 ending characters. So there are 5 of them. We'll put down here, there are 5 ending characters in the Assyrian Hebrew. And that makes sense because the ancient Hebrew doesn't need ending characters. That's just the way, you know, those kings back then, King Darius and all those Assyrian kings, man, that's the way they spoke. So they tried to make us speak like that. They changed their the way their characters, the way our characters look, you know. But right now, you know, I mean, back then we had the sound still Abba Gada Hawa Zaka Tayaka Lama Na Sa I Shata. That's still the same. So you'll use that when you make, as you can see what we have on the board, you'll use that when you get ready to take a sound. All you got to do with Hebrew is just know that Hebrew is a sound. Just like you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G when your kids learn the English language over here, no, but that's hard for us to understand. The Bible says in the book of Deuteronomy, and, you know, these fierce countless people over here, man. You know, when they say A, B, C, D, E, F, they made a song about it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, you know, okay, fine, you know. We had to learn their language with 26 characters on it. 26 alphabet, I'm sorry. But we have the same thing. If you're going to learn Hebrew, you must know the characters. Or how else you're going to learn how to speak. You got to learn how to speak another language in your own language so you can understand how it sounds and how it looks. And then you can look the word up. And that's what we try to achieve here in Lashawan Qadash. We have to understand what a word is. I mean, in other words, okay, Quan, since you're there, how many vowels are there? You remember that? Tell me how many vowels there are, Quan. So we got Shar checking, putting the putting the chat. Good, great. He's putting in the chat. This is before you get your Hebrew name for all the people that's looking out there, whether you're directly in my sight, line of sight to see in class or not. If you're out there and you're interested in how, and you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, that's so important. Because it shouldn't even matter to you if you're not. It just, Hebrew doesn't even going to help you. You don't. Why you need a driver's manual of understanding Hebrew or knowing what the Bible is when it's not for you? But if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, and I'll repeat again, if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, that's what you want. So Quan, okay, Quan said there's two. There's two vowels. All right, Quan. Quan said there's two vowels. There's two vowels. Quan, if you know what those vowels are, man, I believe you do. Type them in the chat. Tell me what those vowels are, my man. Tell me what they are, my brother. Since you're there, I mean, you know, you teaching the class for me here, man. Because, you know, the ancient Hebrew has 22 characters, and that's important. Ancient Hebrew has 22, what we call, let me write that on the board because I want people to understand that before we get into class here. That's important. Characters. They're characters because they're like pictures of understanding that makes a sound. And then Quan is getting ready to give me two of them right now. And those will be vowels, and we'll show you how those characters come to play. Quan, let's see what Quan got up in here. See, he has, yeah, look, clap it up for that brother. He knows what he's talking about. Clap it up for him. Damn right. He said the ah, those two vowels are the ah and the I. And he's exactly 100 cents right worth, man. And we're going to show you what they look like. That's important. I like to do this because, you know, you have people sometime checking in the class for the first time that ain't never seen this before, and they begin to say, "Man, what they doing over there?" Because I was talking to some brothers, and they said, "Man, I look into your class, but I don't understand. Once I get going, because Quan is explaining it very well. Good, great job, Quan. Stick with me." He said, and they say when they check in the class, some of these people check in the class sometime, and they say, "Man, I'm behind," I said, "because you don't know the Hebrew chart." It's like trying to learn the English language in which we speak the English language the best we can, this white man's language, basically, is all it is to it. Without knowing the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Without knowing, how you going to do that? You got to know these characters up here to even understand how something sounds in English. So that's what we're doing. The ah, he said the ah, let me kind of give me some room there. The ah looks like this. That's what it looks like in ancient, okay? Matter of fact, let me just erase that. I won't get that. Let me say ancient right here. That's what it looks like in the ancient. The ah, that's what it looks like. That's the ah looks just like that. That's one of the characters right there that Quan told me. And the other one Quan said that was the I. That's what the ancient character looked like. The I. That's what the vowels look like in Hebrew. That's why it's important to know this chart, man, because, you know, the ah and the I. So he knows that, the ah and the I. He knows that from being in class. He understands that for understanding. Right. And of course, in the Assyrian, they have the same thing, but you have to, it sounds like ah and I. Because every word we're going to use, man, is going to consist of a ah, like aratazah, or you're going to use a word like Zariah. We're gonna put those on the board here, just an example before we get into our sentence structure up here. As more and more people join class here. Let's see, we have ah. The ah in Assyrian looks like this. Looks sort of like that. And if it looks like that, it looks like a. And if you look on our chart over here, the first letter that you get to, the first character that you get to is the ah. That's in ancient. This is the one in Assyrian. Okay, that's important, right? Yeah, of course. And of course the I over here, well, what does the Assyrian looks like? The Assyrian I looks like? It looks sort of like this. Little squiggly looking Y looking thing, just like that. One of I always had a problem making that. But anyway, let we have some more people checking in the class here. Let me see here. Let's see if I can bring that channel up so I won't have to jump all the way over there. Yeah, you guys like and share the class too. Always do that. That will help us also, you know. Live chat. Let's see who we have checking in the class here. Who's this? Oh, okay. We have Princess Labaya. Yeah, Nazar Gabar. Not our assistant camp leader, Nazar Gabar, who's heavy in Lashawan, Qadash, and his, of course, his wife is heavy in this stuff too, man. You know, so the ah and I, she knows I prefaced the class by going over this for beginners, so she's gonna be patient. I know the ah and the I. The ah and the I, those are your two vowels that you have in there. Quan, let's clap it up for that brother right there, man. I know we know it's Labaya also. But clap it up for that brother. He's exactly right. And that's important. Now, well, since we're there, Quan, give me this. You have 5 ending characters in Assyrian. What does the ancient have that the Assyrian don't have? And I give you a start. It starts with a C. It starts with a C. Tell me what it is. Tell me. And then Labaya, anybody. Oh, okay. Appreciate that. Appreciate those hand claps up there, bro. Let's see here. Okay, good. Let's see also the ah and the I. What does and Labaya, you can answer that too for me. I just want to know the 5 ending characters are attributed to okay, listen, okay, look, I think she's got an answer. Are contributed to the 5 ending characters are contributed to the Assyrian. I mean, you got to use them because, like I said, you use the ka, the ma, the wa, the pa, and the tazah. That's basic. You have to do that because when I spell out words, I'm going to use those ending characters to spell it right. That's just how it's written, because that's the way the reliefs are out in the history. You find a rock over there in the corner somewhere in Jerusalem, or the Dead Sea Scrolls in the parchment, and that's what they're looking for. Yeah, so lock you out of one. I'm not sure. Good. Okay, here. Let me see. Labaya, let's see. She may have it. Let me see what she got here. That's not a problem, Quan. That's why we're here. You know what it is. You just haven't seen it in a while. I guarantee you know when I say it. She says ending characters. I see we got young man Marcus checking in class. Appreciate that. Ending characters. Oh yeah. As Assyrian is the ending character, Labaya. That's exactly right. But what I want to know, what does the ancient have besides this ending characters? Tell me what's so unique about the ancient Hebrew I mean, it starts with a C. What do they have that the Syrian doesn't have? Marcus or Quan, or that's all I'm trying to say. It starts with a C. I don't want to take it too further. Then I don't want to give you the answer. But of course, Indian characters is right for Assyrian. That's exactly right. Exactly right. Now what on the 22 ancient characters? What do they have? What do we use to help with the spelling of a word in Hebrew, in ancient Hebrew? Not the ending characters in Assyrian. That's exactly right. That's true. So tell me what that is. Anybody? I know y'all got it on your mind. Starts with a C. Before we get into these other sentences over here, that's what I'm gonna get hot and heavy in it. Okay, look, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got, man. I know somebody got it. I know they do. Come on, let's see what you got. Let me see. I may have to walk over the board and try to hold both channels over there. There you go. Ancient have this description of each character, like the ka and the palm of the hand. Yeah, you can use that. Is that what you palm of the hand? Yeah, I think I understand what you said right there, but it's actually easier than that, Labaya. Quan has dependent and independent connectors. That's both of y'all attribute to being right, but the answer that I was looking for was this right here. Connectors. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit as we do some of these words here, because you see some connectors on the board up here. And that's why. So let's clap it up for y'all. Both of y'all are good. Good on that answer right there. And I understand that. But yeah, Labaya, that's exactly right. So Quan, I knew you knew the answer. I know, Labaya, I know you know the answer also. Sometimes it's hard for me to explain it right. Ancient have description of each character for the ka. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I understand what you said, the descriptions. They have meanings for that. That's very, very old Hebrew. But the connectors is what I was looking for. So in other words, let's see. And some people, look at this. It's I try to go over this, every once in a while, if not every week, once in a while. I just make sure, because I want people to understand. Yeah, there you go. I want people. That's right, Labite. Let's see what else we got here. Live chat. Let's see. Let me see. I want people to understand the Hebrew. Yeah. Every time I put something on the board, I want to be able to be very familiar with it. Okay, let's say, so we know that I'll erase this here. 2 vowels, the A and the I. The ancient has connectors, independent and dependent, just like you guys were saying. And 27 Assyrian characters, because there are 5 ending characters only in the Assyrian. Okay, so let's erase this. In other words, y'all tell me what this word means right here. Or just tell me how you say it, not what it means, because that's what it means is easy to figure out. I mean, that's just, but you got to be able to understand what it says in English first. So before I do that, I'm gonna put this in. Let's try the Assyrian. Let's try the Assyrian first. Let's try the Assyrian. I'm going to put this in Assyrian first and see if you guys understand it. And I want you to tell me, what does it say? Now, there's no connectors, of course. That's the reason why I want to go through this, so you guys will know. I kind of write it real big here. All right. I wrote this in Assyrian. That's the Assyrian language right there. I wrote that purposely because I want you guys to be able to understand which language is better, the Syrian or the ancient. And I don't know if it's better, it's just necessary to learn both, of course. But this is Assyrian right here for a word. And we're just going to prove what we just talked about. We wrote on the board, there's Assyrian has ending connectors. I mean, you know, in this case, that's not an ending connector, so it doesn't really need it. So in this case, and I'm going to write that word also. Let's see, do I want to write that word also? Yeah, I'll write it in, I'm going to write it also in the ancient. And I want y'all to tell me what that word, tell me what it spells in English. That's the first step. Remember, Quan, Princess Labaya, and Marcus, the first thing you want to do is be able to spell it. Because all I'm doing is putting on the board what we just did. We just put ending connectors and ending characters and connectors, you know, if it's necessary to have an ending character. So tell me, what does this word spell? We have Helen Leopard is checking in. Glad you got checking in, sis. Glad you're checking in, my sis. Let's see. And you participate also. Everybody. You know. Oh. Labaya said, let me see. Labaya and who else got something around here? Yeah. She's got Z-A-R-I-I. I want y'all to see if that's right. She has Z-A-R-A-I. That's what she has. Y'all check it out. See if that's true. Ain't nothing tricky about it. I'm just writing on the board what they, whatever it is, what it is. You know. So the Labaya has Z-A-R-A-I. Let's see. Who else? Quan, what you say? What you say, let's see. Marcus? Y'all mean Marcus? Sorry, it's Locky. What you got? I mean, it's just all we're doing is just exercising, what these letters can do for you. I mean, characters can do for you. I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. A little better. We're showing you how they can help you spell something. Let's see. I have the same. Either ones are right. Okay, good. Quan says Z-R-I. All right, let me break this down a little better. Labaya and Quan. Let's see. Marcus, did you put anything? We wait for, unless you may be at work, Marcus. I understand. We'll wait about 10 more seconds, and if you're not, I understand that, brother. Don't lose your slave. Just do what you can. I appreciate you checking in class. I do. But here, this is the ancient right here. This is the ancient. And then we're going to, and this is the Assyrian up here. Man. There. Assyrian up here, ancient down here. Okay. I'll move on here. Okay, listen. The word is spelled Zerai. Okay? So you have to know, and what you did was bring it back out into English, how you spell the word. Let me tell you why I put the Assyrian first for both of y'all, Quan and Labaya. Because if you look down here, Z by itself, Z. Like this. Z. Okay? And over here, you have, that's an independent connector, so it has to be spelled Z-A. Because that's what Z sounds like. It looks like it and it sounds like it. Now, all right, and when you get over here, Z, that's a Z. All right, yeah, that's a Z. Okay. You get a Ra. Now up here in the Assyrian, you have no way of knowing that that connector is there until I wrote it in ancient. But because it does have a connector, that's what I'm trying to get you guys to see. Pay attention. Quan and Labaya, okay? Because it does have a connector, the Ra loses the A. It doesn't need it. That's what I've been trying to teach. It'll lose this A right here. And it'll just have Ra by itself. And of course the last letter, because it's joined, is I. And that is the word right there, spelled like that, Zerai. What you have up here is Zerai. The word is Zerai, not Zerai. And I understand why you did that, because in the ancient, in the Syrian, it does look like there's supposed to be an A after this R here. I understand that. That's why it's so important to go back to the mother language. And I purposely didn't put it on for the board, but had I did this, maybe, I don't know, from the previous lessons, Quan. If y'all understand that, Labaya, Quan, and Marcus, y'all type up in the chat. When you have, and the whole thing that predicated all of this was the let me see here. Well, this connector right here. That is that connector. This connector right there. That is a dependent connector. That means those two sounds depend on each other. Then in the vowel world, you'll lose that ah. Because it's been joined by another sound, and that sound is an I. Okay? In the vowel world. So y'all understand here, y'all type that in the chat. Let's see what you got. Let's see what I got here. Make sure y'all, okay, got you. Let me make sure y'all share the class, and I appreciate it. But that's why, and I want you, Quan, I believe you understand that. Y'all like the class too. Make sure you like the class. Let's see here. And Helen, trying to get you to understand it too. So when you understand that Z-R-I, Zerai, by the way, that word means seed. Seed. It's like the seed of Israel. That's what that word is. The sperm of a man is a seed. That's what the word simply means. Zerai. So let's reiterate. Za. Well, it's a sound. It's like you said, Quan and Labai and Marcus. And listen, the za has its own sound. Z-A. Z-A just by itself. But when you get a down here, and it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because this has no connectors. That's the key right there. That's why I went and prefaced the class and showed you. Every class I show you, because you have to understand what connectors are, what they can do for you, and what the ending characters can do for you. And that's the whole point. You can't. There's no connectors up here. So that's why she put, and Quan and both of y'all, Labaya, y'all put Z-R-A, because she was simply doing as you instructed to do, because that's what this Syrian has. It doesn't show you no connector. But down here, you have to drop that vowel, that right there. Za by itself, and then Ra. Ra is another vowel. You have to drop the A. Why? Because it's trying to pick up this I. Za, Ra. So we're gonna clap it up for you guys right now. You understand? As a matter of fact, I hope I didn't confuse nobody. Let me see what Quan, you say you understand that, right? Yeah, Quan understand. I have to say, yeah, Quan understands. Got it. Let's put one more up there before we get into our sentence structures to make sure y'all understand. And that's important, man. It's important. It's important. But matter of fact, anytime you join class, make sure you guys write the stuff down I put on the board. It's very important because if you can do something like this, everything else is the same, just a different word. That's all. So, Zerai means seed. Add that to your vocabulary if you have not already have it. But Zerai means seed. Okay, let's put another one up here. And it's important to understand this. All right? Let's just put another word up here. And so people can understand and pick up and catch on to what we're doing here. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. All right, write that one. And that's not Assyrian, of course, that's ancient. I'm not going to put the Assyrian up there just to show you how much difference there is. How much different there is in the Assyrian and the ancient. It's important to understand that. To understand how strong the ancient Hebrew, that original Hebrew that was given to us, man. That's important. You know. All right, y'all write that down. Tell me what that is. Use your chart and tell me what that word is. All right. Tell me what that word is. Take your time. Write down what that word is, man. Ah. All right. Let me see. Labaya has a word. I think she has M-A. Looks good. S-H-C. Wait a minute. What she have? S-H. Okay, got it. C-H. Okay. All right, anybody else? Let's make sure y'all put y'all word down. That's what Labaya has down. M-A-S-H-C-H. All right. Y'all put y'all word down. What do you think this says right here? Because that is the ancient Hebrew. Marcus Quan, what you think? What you think these letters here? I mean, you like you said, you can almost see the chart from the computer on the board there. All you gotta do is pick it out and then write down what it is in English. Because that's what we did. You can see that we have it written down there in English under the bottom. Abba Gada Hawa Zakata Yakala Manasa Ipa Kwa Ipa Tazakwa Rashata. Give you guys about 30 more seconds here because some things can be difficult. And then we'll tell you what the word means in a little bit here. But first we want to be able, what the word means is significant, but that's a vocabulary memorization. Here, when you're doing, but you got to at least spell it right. And this is in our language. You have to be able to decipher or translate it, what you want to say, in our language before you can go any further. All right? So, got 15 more seconds here, and then we'll break this word down, okay? We want to make sure everybody understands. And Quan, go ahead and put down what you think it is. Put down what you think it is, judging by the connectors that we have. This is an independent connector. That's a dependent connector. Like you said. So put down what you think it is. Like it. In the ancient Hebrew, I didn't mess with the Syrian this time. I may write it down there a little bit. I know the Syrian is harder. That's the reason why I didn't write it. But in the Syrian, when I was taking this a couple years ago, man, I had to learn both at the same time, like you're learning, and I had to. Sometimes we would just give this Syrian, and we had to come up with the right pronunciation, and that's even harder. But that's what I'm going to get you guys to. You're going to get to the point where you're going to do exactly like what I've been doing here, okay? And that's what you're on your way to. All right. So far, you guys doing a fantastic job. All right. Let's go ahead and break this down right here, real quick. Prince Labaya, Marcus, and Quan. All right, let's do this. The word is this: mashak. Okay, which means to anoint, I believe. Let's see. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Mashak means to anoint. Let's write that down right here. Anoint. It's like when we do every Sabbath, we offer people a chance to put oil over the head. The priests, man, up on the platform, we're the ones who anoint you. That means you need some anointing, man, because, for whatever reason, you recognize that the Lord wants to, you want to be anointed. You just want to be anointed, man, and the Lord will forgive you of something or help you with something or whatever that anointing shall be. But anyway, here's the thing: ma by itself, M-A. Let's work with me here. Let's work. Now, I can understand why you did this. I understand. But the good news is this is right here. The ka is right. Because you do have vowel sounds that you have to drop. And that's the AA. Because it's at the end. But when it occurs to the right of the other one that is joining, let me put this in green so people can see this. Y'all pay attention. Y'all let me know if you understand now. That is a dependent connector right here. Dependent connector. That means these two sounds want to depend on each other. When you see that, that's a red flag of saying, oh, I got to do something with the vowels. That's really all it means. Because it's shak. But how do you say sha? You have to give the full sound of the one to the right. And that full sound will be an ah. Sha. Like that. So far we have ma and sha. And you have to use that a or the ah because it's to the right of the one that is joining. But the one to the left, remember, Hebrew is written from right to left, not the other way. And that's sometimes it's a hard lesson to learn sometimes. Let's see who else we have. Radazak. Got Trooper Radazak checking in the class. Great. And I can understand, but see, you can't, in other words, if you don't put this ah there, it doesn't know what to do with the C. That's what you have is mashak. Mashaka. And cut it off. You almost like cut the sha off. Mashaka. But it's mashak. Like this. Now you can drop the AA because normally, remember, that ka has a full sound of That's just the way. That's just the way the vowels that's in the ka is supposed to be there because the ka is pronounced with two vowels, two A's. It's the longest sound that we have. But when you got sha, when you have sha, you can't not put that A there because or that because then you'll be missing something here. So you can't have like I'm afraid to say the other rule, but let's just leave it like that. So here's the way to do this. Write it in your notes. When you want to use an independent connection, when you have a character to the right, it generally, usually, more than 100%, more than 99.9% of the time. I haven't seen too many breaking the rules yet. It gets a sound, it gets the vowel after it. In this case, it's the A or the A. But immediately, the one to the left, we read Hebrew from right to left. Immediately, the one to the left, you drop the vowels over here. You don't need these vowels right here. And that's what you've done right here. You got that right. So what you end up with is mashak, and which you can pronounce, right? Is that right? Mashak, yeah. Now the word comes alive. So, God, if you guys understand that, type in the chat, that you understand it, because I want you guys to really, really understand. Because we're getting ready to get into, and in order for me to do sentence structure, I have to break down some vocabulary sometimes, and that's what we've done up here. We're breaking down vocabulary, man. In this case, it's important. So it helps you to read when you understand the sentence structure and how things are done. You miss the because you probably dropped the A right there. But you don't drop this full sound. The sound is to the right, you keep that full sound. That makes sense? If that's the case, you guys type that up in the chat and make sure you understand it. In this particular case, the reason why you didn't need it in the Zerai is because what's immediately preceding it was a vowel. And I know. Let me write that on the board because I know y'all probably thinking that. Man, he pulling our leg. No, I'm not pulling your leg. Here, Zerai. Okay, you don't need the here because there is a vowel after there. That's the difference. Hebrew has to have vowels. It just so happened to be that there's a vowel after that. That's the reason why Zerai is written in. And I understand. And if I confuse anybody, y'all type up in chat whether y'all understand that. Okay? Type it up in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about here. Before I go on further. Please, Bob Quashop. Because some people, and I use this word purposely because people think, I'm pulling your leg. No, I mean, okay, the difference is like Shah, you don't get rid of the here. You keep it because it's to the right, just like the R was to the right, Zerai. But afterwards, that's not a vowel. Ka is not a vowel, so you're gonna drop these two vowels to the left, but the one to the right, you'll keep that, and that's why it's sha. You have to have a vowel between those consonants, is what I'm getting at. And over here, there's your vowel between the two consonants, so you don't need the ah. That's the big difference. If y'all understand that, y'all type up in the chat, man. Let's make sure we understand that. That's important. Radazak, okay, yeah, Radazak in class. But Labaya, if you understand that, and Kwan and Radazak, y'all understand that? Because I want to make sure before we move on that we got that down pat. There's always a vowel. When you're using connectors, you drop a vowel. Okay, let's see what she got here. You drop a vowel. Let's see. Yeah, kind of good. You understand that? Good. I didn't want to confuse them. Quan, if you do, go ahead. Radazak, and I know other people working there. Young man Marcus. But I'm gonna reiterate this one again. That's why I use this. This is a very good point. Zerai, which means seed. The R here. As a matter of fact, all right. The R here has an ah by it, like you had Zarai, but you don't need that ah because you have a vowel right there. That understood? And when you got a vowel, then you can drop that one. But over here, you have sha. And there is no natural vowel between sha and ka. That's not an I there. The only other thing it could be is an ah there or I there. In this case, it's a ka. So if it's a ka, it's going to need the ah, the full sound of the sha. Because sha is the way you write the word, that little W looking thing there. That is a sha. And so, but afterwards, because the ka has two vowels, which in this case, and you would say ka, then you wouldn't need that. I mean, there are other words where you have ka right here, and you would keep the two ahs, and then it could be something else over there. It could be any ka, ma, ba. But if you had like a ka, let's say an I there, then you may not need, depends on the word, you may not need the ahs after that. But if this is the case, it looks like you guys understand it, so we can clap that up right there. That's important, and it's a tricky lesson. But I try to do the most difficult stuff on the board so you'll understand the simple and mundane things. I don't mean to be, it's hard, don't get me wrong, it can be. But I'm trying to make it simple. And that's what it is. That's important with this vowel thing, all right? And which mashak means annoying. Let's write. I hope you guys understand. I hope I ain't confused nobody, because it can be rough. When you just beginning, you trying to understand this right here, it ain't easy. I'll write one more, so you guys here. Check this one out. Check this right here. Now that has no connectors except for the independent connectors. They don't have any dependent connectors. Tell me what that word spells. Follow the rule. That's all you got to follow. Follow the rule. Just tell me in English, how do you spell that? And then we can translate it. Of course, that's the easy part. Y'all write that down, then we'll move up top here to this sentence here. Because people are asking to do more sentences there. Ah, okay. Sister right here got, okay, good. She has, okay. Let's see, she has something down already. See, she has this. That's what she has. I kind of used good. All right. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Give you guys a few more seconds. Quan, if you agree with that, go ahead and put down your answer. Radazak, Trooper Radazak, and young man Marcus. Y'all put y'all answer down also. But Sister Labaya, Princess Labaya has this word, Ratazah. She said it means the earth, by the way. That's what she says. Okay? All right. Well, let's go ahead and get that answer up there then. It does mean earth, and that's what. Let's clap it up right there. She's right, exactly right. All right. Let's go over these rules here, because I've given you about three rules, and they're important to understand. Sometimes they can get rough. Well, by itself, that's There's no way you can change that. Because it is a vowel. That's important. When you drop and add vowels, you got to be able to recognize the vowel. That's why Quan wrote down the and the I when he first got into class, because he understands that that's a vowel. This sentence starts with a vowel, and that is a vowel. That's very important to understand that. Okay? Now you have, these are independent connectors here. Ra, ta, za. Okay, ra, it gets its full sound, and that full sound is ra. Okay, I'm gonna play with this word here for a second. I want to see if you guys can understand something. And of course, the last sound you hear is ta, za, and it's independent by itself too. So everything gets its full sound, full flavor. Ta, za. Okay, I'm gonna play with this word here. I'm gonna try to. It's I don't know, a little tricky here, but let's just see if you guys understand something here. What if I did this? How would you write that then? How would you spell it if I did that? I mean, there's no such word. I'm just doing it just to see how you would obey the rules of connected, dependent, and independent connectors. See how you pronounce. Write down in English how you would spell that. Aratazai, which means earth. Of course, there's no such word as this. I'm just writing it down just to see how you would handle it in the. How would you guys handle that? Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, that's weird. She has a. What does she got? See, anybody else got something up here? Okay. AHRTAZ. That's what she has. And by the rules, if I were to make a mistake and write that out like that, now in Assyrian, you would never do that. You would write Aratazah because you would see it. But over here, she's 100% right. Which is not a word. That's Artazah. Because why? Because I said it gets the full sound of ah because it is a vowel. Remember, from right to left, okay? And but afterwards, because it's connected with a dependent connector right there. Somebody else wrote something. Why'd you change it, sis? No, you right. You're right. I was just wondering why you changed that. Oh, I see what you're saying. Let me see what you did here. Now you don't want to do. You don't want. Now that you don't want to do. You don't want to drop the H. Yeah, you second guessed it. Exactly right. You don't. Yeah, exactly right. You don't want to drop that H because I see what you've done. But let me explain that rule here because you had it right. You second guessed it because you thought that you remember anytime you have a I or a AH, they are going to get their full sounds that I know of, unless there's some exceptions. I haven't found that one yet. But the AH is the ah. But the ra, because and there's no such word as this word artazal, like we were saying, guys. But the fact that it has a dependent connector, that means these sounds depend on each other. This ra here has to drop the vowel behind it. It wouldn't need it. I mean, that's why it's important. I mean, some people might try to stick the A in there because ra, but according to the rules that I see, that I've been seeing, I could be wrong, it's R to za, because you dropping the ah after that, from right to left. You definitely wouldn't drop it before that. That ah gets its full sound. R, ra. But when you're doing so to put it, that's why you got to be careful how you write these. R, ra, to za. That's why I spell like that. Because they want to get the full sound. Ah, ra, to za, which means earth. Like that. But you would be right by dropping the ah after that because the rules told you on a dependent connector to keep the vowels in front of there, which A is a vowel. And the R sound right there, loses it. All right, let's move on to, hope you guys understood that. Hope y'all understood that. Let's go into this right here. What's this? I want y'all to do. Let's tack it one word at a time. Right here. This the one arrow, the blue arrow I got right there. Sis, now that we know a little bit about the rules, let's find out what is this saying right here. Is that right? Wait a minute. Got that spell wrong. I think it's this. There we go. Salaki. Tell me what this is spelled. In the chat there. Y'all tell me in the chat what this is. Quan. Labaya, Ratazak, young man Marcus, and Sister Leopard. Lepard or Leopard. Y'all tell me what that spells in the English. Okay? That's spelled in English. Now tell me what that's spelled in the English. That's important. Because you get to doing this over and over again, you mess around and master this. be better than me. That's what I'm trying to do, you know. But anyway, I know everybody that can understand the rules of some of these, y'all type them up. Let's see what you got. What does this spell right here? You know what? I know I spelled that wrong. Slocky. There we go. Slocky. Sorry. Yeah, y'all look beyond my idiocy, I guess. But that's how that's pronounced. She has a word like this. All right, we'll see if anybody, we'll wait a few seconds to see if anybody else is picking up on what this spells. Okay, we'll move it on. Let's see here. See if anybody's in Facebook here, because I know we're having problems checking in here. Okay. Sis got down Abanawa. She's right. I had it written down on the board wrong. I'm sorry, but this is I just picked it up wrong. That's all. But that's how you have all independent connectors, and of course you have ba, independent, na, wa, and then sometimes you can get caught up into people can put connectors like one full connector like nawa, because nawa is, to get how the word sounds in nawa, you have to use independent connectors, because nawa means, as a matter of fact, somebody tell me what this means. If anybody know, abanawa, and it'll kind of self-explain itself, because nawa by itself is a possessive adjective. It's a possessive. It's a possessive adjective. Nawa is a possessive adjective. That's what nawa is. So to make it look like that word, you have to put independent connectors there. If you don't, it'll according to the rules, you'll shorten something there. Daquan, yeah, okay, got it. Abanawa. You know, what does let's see what you got, sis. Yeah, our father. She said our father, right? Exactly. She says it means nawa is father. I mean, Abba is father, Slaki. And Nawa is our. Remember the possessive adjective, and that's, you can put that in your vocabulary. Abba is father. She's right. Let's clap it up for this. Clap it up for that. Exactly right. Abba is father. So when you have Nawa, you have to understand it can mean we, our, us, or our. I mean, you know, our father, us father, or we father, or us. He belongs to us. So you have to put possession on that. Sometimes you can shorten up words just by putting a possessive adjective on it, or sometimes you can use a a preposition. But in this case, our Father, and I kind of got it written backwards here. You know, well, it's like Abanawa. You always write from right to left, but in English you write from left to right, so that's the problem. So this Father, our Father, okay? I kind of wrote it down like that. Our Father. Well, maybe it turned out like that. I don't know. It's, in other words, when the heathens, they can't say our Father to Yahweh Shah. I mean to Yahweh. They can't say that. They can't even say our Savior, Hamashiach, because it don't belong to them. Only the blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians does our Father belong to us. You know, so when you say our Father, that's why Christ, you know, when he was trying to teach the disciples how to pray, you know, he say, this is what you want to say. You want to say our Father. You know, our Father, because He is our Father. Now, that's how you know there was no heathens around, man. When it says our Father, that's a possessive adjective. That is so important when you say our Father, because, let's see what we got there. Yeah, right. When you say our Father, you're saying that's your Father. I mean, it's Yahweh, okay? Because Yahweh Shah taught us this prayer, and he was teaching you about his Father. And his Father is our Father. If you're black, Hispanic, Native Indian, 12 tribes of Israel, Israelite. You know, that's us. That's our Father. So these other heathens, man, they got gods like Shiva and all kinds of what other kind of gods that we always went wandering after? Baal and all kind of idol worship gods. But those gods, they don't, you know, they have their father's the devil of Satan. And so you worship your father the devil, man, and Satan. In other words, the white man is the devil. Some people worship Jesus, Caesar Borgia. That's their God. But here in Isupk, we don't worship that. In Christianity, if you worship Christianity, you're worshiping a whole nother deity. You're worshiping Caesar Borgia, man. You're worshiping a God that's not part of our Father. That's what you got to understand. And that's what this means. All right, let's move on. And then so what we've learned here, possessive adjective, that's why it's important to say our, nawa. All right? Somebody translate this one right here. Let's work on this right here. We're talking about sentence structure here. Now that we broke it down, now that we understand connectors, ending characters, in this case I'm doing it all in ancient Hebrew because it's talking about the ancient Hebrew. I want to use this because it's more of a sacred, holy tongue when you're talking about our Father. You know, I don't even want to use the Assyrian right here on this. I want to use the ancient on here when I'm describing this. I mean, you can, but this is what I want to use right here. Because, you know, we were the same people. We just had different captivity. But our original language goes with this right here. All right? Somebody break this down for me. Tell me what that is. Sister Labai, she don't waste no time here. Man, she don't waste no time. She know while I'm talking, she got it together. All right, she wrote down this word right here. Matter of fact, let me put it in another color so you guys can see it. At least I can see it a little better. All right. Sha. Ba. Sha. Ba. Sha. Following the rules, right? Ma. Ma. What else? Okay, and then yum. And because they're connectors there, we have Yam and the Ma. Yeah, it makes sense. So according to the connection, that's what she's got right. Clap it up for the sister. She has Shabbat Shemayim. You have Abanawa Shabbat Shemayim. And what does Mayim mean? Anybody in the chat? Type it up. That'll help you understand what this word is trying to say. Mayam. When you say, you have Mayam, what does the word loosely mean? Or what does it mean? It's describing something. You say Shabbat Shemayim. Shabbat Shemayim. What does that mean? What does that mean? Shabbat Shemayim. What does Mayam mean? That'll help you understand it a little better. What does Mayam mean? We'll break this word down a little bit here. we'll try to, because we're using prepositions and possessive adjectives tonight here on this to help these sentences out a little bit. They need that kind of help, right? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let me see. Who's in the chat here? Let's see what you got. She says, which art in heaven? Yeah, I can understand when you say art. I can understand that. Okay, here's the word right here. Mayam means water or waters. And coincidentally, that's what heaven has in it, waters. So that's why we're lacking that word. So when you say Shamayim, you're saying in the waters or of the waters. And then that's how you know it's heaven when you use that word here. Yeah, when you use a preposition like that, that means pertaining to whom or which. In this case, this means pertaining to right here. Pertain to, right there. Pertaining to the waters. Or pertaining to the waters. And to pertain to the waters, that means the heavens. When God separated the heavens, that's what that word breaks down to. And Shah over here is which. Like which. W-H-I-C-H. Like which. That's a derogatory. It's a, what do you call those words? Derogatory, I guess. I can't remember that. And ba means is in. These are prepositions here. Those prepositions, right? This is a preposition. Write this down in your preposition. Yeah, right. Write this down. Which in Shabbat. Shabbat means which in. And Shah over here, when you put it with the word ma, yum, is pertain to the waters. So you get which in heaven. And you can say art, Sister Labaya, but it's really, I understand what you want to say there, which art in heaven, but if it's the correct way to really say that, if a better way to say it, let's put it that way, not necessarily correct or not, but we're going to say which in, we want to say correct. We want to say which in the heavens. So we say Abanawa. Or you say art. That means that's an old English word of saying thou art. Or whom art. I understand that art. I got that. That's old English. But if you want to use the Hebrew, you want to say Shah, which in. Ba is enough. These are two prepositions put together to make which in. Which in, or art. Art in heaven. But you say which in Shah, pertaining to the water. Mayam is water. like drinking water. Like, like I drink some water right here. Am I young? When the Lord separated it. So that's what you got. So let's move on to the next one. Let's see if y'all ahead of me here. See how much time we got left in class here. We got, yeah, we got a little time here. Do this one right here. Do that one. The one I got the arrow pointed to. Translate that. And follow the rules. Use the rules. So we'll struggle through the rules together. Use your rules, though. I mean, that's important. Your rules. That's matter of fact, let's do that all the way up like that. Like a little better. Okay. But use the rules. This right here, this word right here, the one I got the arrow pointing to, between the blue. Translate that one for me real quick. So far we have Abanawa Shabashamayim, our Father, which in heaven, which in the heavens, or which art, either one. We're gonna say which in the heavens. What do you got? Let's see. Our Father which in the heavens. Well, that's what He is, Somebody break this down right here. What is this word right here? I mean, we use it all the time, so. Abadawa Shabashamayim. Which in or which art? I got it. And we're using prepositions, man. We use nawa, possessive adjective, man. And this is a sentence structure you want to use. So anytime you do a sentence, doesn't matter what kind of sentence it is. I mean, I had another sentence over here, but I thought I'd write these up here, which is familiar. I had another sentence I was going to break down and show you, but we may get to next week. Well, we want to learn how to follow the rules of connectors, because that's an ancient Hebrew, and so we can write things properly. So we'll understand. The reason why I do this so you can look up the preposition, you can look up the possessive adjective, and then you can look up the vocabulary of the word. That way you'll understand what's written down. Okay, instead of guessing. So we'll give you guys a few more time here. What is this word here? Matter of fact, you might as well go ahead and do both. Do both of them. Yeah, go ahead and translate both of these if you guys can see that. Y'all translate both of them. Give you guys a few seconds. Let's see who else is in the chat right here. Give you guys a few more seconds here in the chat. All right. All right. Okay. Okay, we'll give you guys a few more seconds here. Slock it. Then we'll write this word down. Let's see. Slock it. Okay. Well, what are we doing here? Okay, we have okay. We're gonna do a word. We'll go ahead and write this word down. So we word right here spells like this. It's for people who are looking in class right there. That's word right there. Okay. And as we learned in class, we have a word called Qadash right here. Anybody know what Qadash means? Quan and Labaya and Ratazak and Marcus and Sister Leopard. You know. We'll give you guys a few seconds there, right there. Give you guys a few seconds to write that. But anyway, the word Qadash, you say it's Qua, right there. And of course, here's a good rule. This is one of the rules I was trying to tell you. Da. It gets the full sound because it's to the right. We read Hebrew to the left to right. I mean right to left. Salakia. Read Hebrews from right to left. So when you see that da there, it gets the full sound of the da, da. But it gets clipped short. The sha doesn't need a vowel after it because it's been joined with the sound of the da. So you want to, and then try, that's what the whole idea. And the whole idea, the word would come out dash. You don't want to say dasha. You don't want to say quadasha. You want to say quadash. And that's important to know the rules of Hebrew. That's why I didn't write this in Assyrian. But if you write it in ancient Hebrew, it's easy to pick up. Qua is an independent connector. It gives its full sound, full qua. And you have da and sha. Da, sha, dash. Just like that. And of course you have a word over here called haya. This word right here, ha, ya. What I write here? Haya, just like that. Yeah, and it gets the same rule. Independent connector, ha, by itself. It gets the full sound, ha. With the vowel, it's got the full, whatever that sound is, ha. And ya, it keeps the full sound because it's to the right of the dependent connector. And then of course, you need the full ya. But right afterwards, you don't need a ha-ya, ha. So you just want to make a sound called ya. In order to do that is ha-ya. Ha-ya. So that's why you have. And it means to be. And of course, this means holy. We'll let you guys marinate on that for a second. You guys write that down. Holy, man. It means to be separate from the rest of the world. The dog. Separate yourself. And when you do that, you will be holy. So that's why we use the word interchangeable. To separate yourself. As 12 tribes of Israel, man, you want to separate yourself. You know, you have business and doings that you have to deal with Esau, you know, and all these other nations, all these other Africans, and all these other Elamites and Moabites and Hamites and Africans and Ammonites and all these other 18 nations, man. You don't need them. You know, the Bible says, separate yourself from them and make yourself holy, man. That's the only way you can do it. But how you gonna be holy and you sitting up there keeping company with an unholy people? That's why the Lord says, separate, man. Separate yourself. That's the whole point. Separate yourself and keep yourself clean and pure, man. Keep clean and pure away from away from all these heathens out here, and even in our people, man, even in these churches, even in these Christian churches. I just had to tell you, man. It's a Lashawan Qadash class, but I like to be the full priest and the prophet, huh? You know, like we speak at camp, man. You know, but you can't. How you gonna be holy? You sitting there, hey, well, I just want to go to the house and play cards, or hang out and eat some pork with them. That's what the Christian believers believe. That's what Christianity believes, that all men have the same right. And that's a lie. You know, only the 12 tribes. The Christ only died for his people, man, for us to be holy. He only died for us. He didn't die for all these other nations. You know, who did Christ die for? He died for us. He died for his people. He died for his people. That's the whole point. You know, who did he die for? He died for us. He didn't die for all these other nations, man. Who did Christ die for? Let's turn to it. We'll turn to it. Let's map what? Matthew 1 and 21? Shoot, let's turn to Matthew 1 and 21. Let's just show you who Christ died for. Matthew 1 and 21. It's one of my scriptures I like to read here sometime, but let's just read it. Shoot. Let's show you, like a lot of people, just in case you have a little thoughts of understanding, man, I'm still stuck on this Christianity, man. You stuck on this simplicity, stupid. You hung up on stupid, trying to let a white man teach you with the cross on, representing Caesar Borgia. You know, hey, stop being a fool, man. You know, don't do that. I mean, I know what I say, Matthew 1 and 21. Let's find out what it says. Let's look at it. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua. That's Mary bringing forth Yahushua, man. You know, the Son of the Most High. And says, for he shall save his people. Now, why did the Bible put that there? Why did he put his people there? Because we are the holy people. We're the ones that say Abba Nawa, because it's our Father. The Abba Nawa, Shabbat Shemayim, which in heaven. Which art in those heavens, man. Which in there. Our Father. You can't, no one else can claim this, man. Qadash. Holy be. And that's what you got to understand. So Matthew 1 and 21 is trying to tell you, we'll get another text so you guys understand that. Let's go to Matthew 10 and 5. So you guys understand that the Most High ain't talking to these other nations to be holy. You know, they can't. Esau can't even repent. What I say, 10 and 25? 10 and 5, I'm sorry, it's locked. Okay, and the 12, Matthew 20 and 5. And the 12, Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the ways of the Gentiles. Don't go into the way of the Gentiles, man. And even to the city of the Samaritans, enter not ye in, but go rather to what? The lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's us, man. You know, we're the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Don't go away. You know, the Gentiles, you don't go the way Gentiles and those other people out there, man. The Bible says, go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The southern kingdom, you know, of course, we have the northern kingdom. Also, Judah and Israel, man. You know, go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Of that kingdom that was lost out there, got away from being in Jerusalem, man. Along with the people, man. In other words, the Most High is going to bring us all together, bring all of the northern and southern kingdom of Israel back together, make them one stick, man. That Qadash, that holy people, us. That's who we are, man. Just in case you want to know, because we're the lost sheep. Matthew 15:21. Let's go there. Let's go to Matthew 15:21. Let's go there. Matthew, before we end class here, Matthew 15 and 21. Let's show you who the lost sheep is, man. Let's show you who this is, man. The Most High said this. Did I say that right? 15:24. Lock it. But he answered. I mean, this is when he was talking Answered her another word. Yeah, he was talking to this daughter, the grievous daughter. She was vexed with the devil, man. His daughter, her daughter was vexed with the devil. The Lord said this. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought her, saying, send her away, for she cried out. And it says this. But he answered and said, I am not sent. I ain't sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I mean, that tells it, the holy people of Israel, man. That's who we are. We're the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's what you learn in Lashawan Qadash class too, man. You got people, you know, they come up here and try to prove try to prove to you a point of showing you some heathen, some white heathen at that, some Esau, and trying to tell you about whatever doctrine they're spitting out, man. That's Christianity. Leave them people alone, man. Stay away from them. Get into Isupk and Lashawan Qadash class and the law class and the Hebrew breakdown class, on the General Muhammad class, on the General Yohana class, and get into the Tuesday night class and the Wednesday night, the Brotherhood, and the Hebrew and the scripture breakdown classes, and of course in Lashawan Qadash. I mean, you're gonna get a dose of needed medicine no matter what you do. Well, I'm breaking it down in the words. I'm still gonna break it down in this Bible up in here. But that's the way we do it up in here, man. The Bible teach us to be holy. It says this. That's what it says. We'll have our last thing that we'll put down here. We'll put one more down here. Let's see. So far we have Abanawa, our Father, which in heaven, holy be. And then of course we'll have thy name. Let's see. I think that's Shamka. Shamka. Let's see. Do I got it written down up here? Shamka. Yeah. We'll write that down here real quick here. Shamka. Let me make sure I don't want to misquote things here always. But Sham is name, and Ka is a possessive adjective. Is possessive adjective of that name. That's what you want. Holy, thy name. That's when you say Ka. So yeah, holy be, Shamka, your name, right? And that's what it means. Sham, and we'll write that down. Let that be one of the. Let me see. Where's my? Make sure I have this right here. Shamka, yeah, there it goes. All right, that is a possessive adjective. Ka. That's what you want right there, you know, not, it means your, gotcha. Just wanted to make sure, your. So you want to say, holy be, Sham, like this, Ka, Sham Ka, and we'll break that down. Let's spell it here. Let's do it this way. Preposition. That's a preposition too. And we have Sham, which means name, of course. And Ka is your. And they're talking about the Most High. No one has an Abanawa Father but us, man. You know, these other people have their other stupid gods and whatever. You know, Sham, which means name, is pronounced like this. Sham. Shah. Well, let's put it all over here. So let's do it like this. Shah. Like that. Shah gets the full sound. Shah. Then you want to have an amma there. Sham. So you want to make one sound. So you want to say like that. You want to make one. Once you want to make one, so you want to say Sham, then you want to put Ka over here. You know, you want to get it. You want to have a different thing for that. So for a different sound, I'm sorry. So you want to say like this, Sham, and then you want to have Ka with an independent connector, and that's the whole point. Now what we have is your name. Now that makes it official right there. Christ was telling us how to pray. Abanawa Shabbat Shemayim. Qadash Haya Shamka. That's our Father, which in heaven, holy be your name. Not anybody else's name, not any other else God. He's talking about Yahweh, man. when he says how our Father, he's talking about Yah-Wah. There can only be one Yahweh. That's our God. That's our Father. That's what the sister said, the sister Lubai said, Quan and Radazak and Marcus and Sister Leper say, y'all said Shamka. So it's your name. So we're praying to the Father, man. Holy be your name, man. There's only one Father. We read the text. He only claims us as his own. We're chosen priesthood, a royal generation. We're holy, man. Let me get back a little bit so you guys see that. We're holy. You see? That's what we are. You know, we just when it says Shamka. You know, Sham, name, your Ka. So Ka in this case is a possessive adjective. Because it's making a possession, it's making a possession of name. Holy be your name. It's only attributed to Yahweh, your name. That's why it's important to know these possessive adjectives. That's why it's important to check in class, you'll understand it. And that's what we do. You know, it's important to understand. It's important to understand that that it's our Father. There ain't nobody else's Father, man. We don't go around here claiming these other nations under us. You know, so let's clap it up for class here, man. Y'all understand this. Understand this. This is saying, and of course, we didn't have a chance. It's hard to do this all in one class here, but that's sentence structure right there. Once you understand these, and so later on, when I go over more sentences, you'll understand the rules. You'll understand, you read Hebrew from right to left. You'll understand what a dependent connector is and how to drop the vowel and keep the vowel. You'll understand how to add, when you have two vowels together. You'll understand when you have a dependent connector, when you have something that has a vowel after it. All of them gonna have a vowel after except for the I. Just remember that. And ma over here, mayam. In this case, yam. You'll know to drop the a after this because it doesn't need it. It's trying to make up for the sound with yam. So this word look like yam, but it's yam. And that's the rules. I mean, and we'll reinforce those rules. Those rules are hard to understand. And if I write that in Assyrian, it would be almost impossible to understand if I wrote it in Assyrian. But because I wrote it in the ancient Hebrew, it makes it easier. Easier, man. So that's why we clap it up for class here. Okay? Who's that clapping up with me there? That's important. Appreciate that. Let me see here. Yeah, well, but that's what I want you guys to understand. Hey, Sister Levi understood that. I'm glad, and y'all keep it. And Radazak and Quan, Sister Leopard, and all the other South Carolina, Quan, the young man Marcus, and all the other people, you know, they checked in class, of course, and all the other people that's looking and viewing out here. Just remember these rules up here, man. It's important. Dependent and independent connectors is more than just an upside down U and a U. It tells you how to pronounce and break down a word. And because there's two vowels. That's why the Most High made this language, man. It made it easy. Because if my dense brain can understand it, y'all can understand it definitely. But that's what it is. So to reiterate, it's our Father, the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Nobody else's. Shabbai Shemayim, which art heaven. So use a preposition. Yam is Shah is a preposition. Which in. Ba is a preposition. Which in. And Mayam is water. So Shah pertain to the water. So anything that pertains to the water is the heavens. That's why the Lord separated these waters down here and in the heavens up there. Okay? And then you have Qadash, which means holy, man. Qadash. The same rule applies. Da right here, a dependent connector. Well, that means you got to do some of that. Anytime you see a dependent connector, that means you got some vowels to deal with. That's what it means. That's what it means. That's what you want to remember. I see a dependent connector, I got some vowels I got to contend with here, man. Well, independent connector gets its full sound. Whatever that sound is in that chart. But over here, I got to think a little bit harder. Da, full sound, because there's no vowel after that. Sha gets a vowel cut off of it because it's trying to join the da. So Qadash, and then you have ha ya. Same thing here. Ya, full sound, and the ha gets the cut off. So you have ha ya, which means B. And of course you have sham. Same thing here. You have a sha and you have a ma here. But the sha gets its full sound, S-H-A. Because it's to the right of the independent connector. And then of course we read Hebrew right to left, and of course the one to the left is a ma. So you have to drop that sham is what you're trying to achieve here. And ka stands out on its own. That's why it has an independent connector. That's the class. So let's clap it up. Let me get some announcements over here. I appreciate you guys checking in the class. It's locked you there. Yeah. Okay. Appreciate you guys checking in the class, taking time. Those were some very important rules right there to follow, very pertinent to the point. You know, it's important. It's important to understand. If you're going to learn Hebrew, and you're going to learn how to write it and break it down, you got to learn these rules on this board right here. And that way you'll be on your way. So when I write a sentence, very good. I appreciate that. Who was that? Labai. Okay, I appreciate it, Labai. That way, when you write it, when you're writing these words down, it's important. When you're writing these sentences down, when you're writing these prepositions, when you're writing these possessive adjectives, all this stuff comes together. And before you know it, you're writing Hebrew. You're understanding Hebrew. And you're building your vocabulary. And then we'll be able to communicate back and forth in a virtual class. Then I'll be able to put up some more technical stuff on the board. And you'll be able to tell me. You'll be able to write me a sentence. Because we're going to get into the virtual class. I can't remember that word. I did one class like that. I think it was young man Marcus. StreamYard. We'll get into that where we can really get into that, because I know the general told me to get into StreamYard a little better, and I'm going to do that. I'm just working on it. We're still having problems, of course, with a local computer, but we're going to get into that. Here, the Isupk security announcements, okay? We are the Isupk, started out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for the new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister come to the school, they are off limits. 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry, man. You know, make sure you work your 6 months in there, man. Don't rush the gun. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8 and 10 means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'asharah, ma'asharah of the tenth. 10% of every penny of increase the Most High gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for the priest. Not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upholding convocations. We're going to announce these over here. The Feast of First Fruits. Is that right? Yeah. Feast of First Fruits. Starts at Sabbath, unleavened bread, sundown, Saturday, April 23rd, which we had. We counted 50 days and celebrate the 50th day. That's this Sunday, June the 12th. We're going to have it right here, the Feast of First Fruits, okay? This Sunday, June the 12th, 2022, right here in the Isupk South Carolina class right here in Greenville, South Carolina. Go online, just find, if you want to find out where that is, maybe you go online and find out what our address is, of course. Start before sundown, Leviticus 23, 10, and 22. Okay? Make sure you guys call the camp leader and govern yourself accordingly, and go online to the South Carolina class to make sure you get in here, and we're going to have it right here in Greenville, South Carolina. the ending of the Feast of First Fruits. Okay? And then, of course, remind Akim and Akwaf to check the bulletin board in the hallway if anyone wants to be a trooper. In the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. For that we say, Shalom.